Avengers Twilight Book 5 starts with the Red Skull having James Stark scan his suit to ensure there's no malware, assuming Ultron may have infected it. Although there isn't any malware, James notices Skull's suit is leaking blood somehow. The tension between Ultron and Red Skull escalates as Ultron suspects that Red Skull would never keep their agreement. In response, Red Skull cynically admits his betrayal, declaring that machines are meant to serve humans. He further asserts that despite being viewed as a villain, his ultimate goal is to create a better world, a claim Ultron disputes, arguing that Red Skull is merely power-hungry and insatiable. When Ultron begins to insult Red Skull's parents, Red Skull retaliates with a powerful blast. He also reiterates his belief that machines serve man, and men serve the Red Skull. Meanwhile, Steve races to confront Skull, reminding his allies of how Skull has manipulated the military and police into believing they are protecting the nation from a corrupt president. At the White House, Red Skull reveals to the now captive president that the Avengers are merely an illusion he concocted to maintain public confidence. Addressing the president as Jarvis, Skull declares that although someday he might discard his physical form, he remains a man who rejects weak systems that perpetuate incompetence. As Steve approaches the Capitol, he learns that the White House is compromised and dispatches Tony to rescue the president while he focuses on securing the Capitol. Seconds before Tony breaches the White House, Skull shoots the president and pins the blame on Tony. Tony grabs onto Skull, flies upward, crashing through the White House ceiling and into a nearby structure. Receiving a signal from Skull, James Stark gears up and, with his robot army, converges on their location. Thor is seen at the Capitol, wielding lightning against the brainwashed soldiers. Ms. Marvel, Thor, and Captain America strive to halt the combined forces of the police and military as they advance on the White House. During Iron Man's confrontation with Red Skull, Captain America informs Tony that they will need additional support. Tony launches several rockets at Skull from his armor, but Skull detonates them prematurely. Skull then counters with a powerful blast at Iron Man, and commands his general to attack the Defenders' safe house and launch the initial missile barrage towards Washington, D.C. Iron Man takes to the skies to intercept the incoming missiles. While dealing with a request to cut off the Secret Service relocating the Vice President, Thor is struck by a blast from Red Skull, who questions if Thor has ever battled an entire nation. The scene shifts to Captain America, who is swarmed and overpowered by soldiers. A battered and weakened Steve commands his defenders to counterattack, and they start to drive the soldiers back. James arrives not alone, but with his robotic army that begins assaulting Tony. Hawkeye and Ms. Marvel cut off the Secret Service during their attempt to move the Vice President to safety. Tony overrides the robots' programming and redirects them to target the missiles. Thor and Tony confront Red Skull, only to be swiftly knocked away by him. We transition to the fight between James and Tony as James forcefully hurls his father against the Washington Monument. Consumed by anger, James descends upon Iron Man and starts pummeling him relentlessly. A bruised Tony alerts Captain America that Skull is deploying a nuke, prompting Thor to rush off in an attempt to intercept it. Luke Cage receives word that the skirmish is being broadcast nationwide and gears up to join Steve in the battle. In a heated exchange, Captain America confronts Skull about the notorious H-Day, asserting that despite Skull's manipulations convincing the public of its necessity, they will continue to fight back. Skull retorts, claiming that since H-Day, America has been at its safest, having acquired the ultimate weapon. Just then, Thor spots what he believes to be the bomb in the sky, but its powerful impact sends him reeling. Skull reveals that the day wasn't named H-Day for the heroes. It was so named because of the Hulk. And the object that landed wasn't a bomb, it was the Hulk himself.